January 19th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a former PTO president getting no jail time in an embezzling case, a puppy scam in Darien, and in Weston, a skateboarding bulldog becomes a local celebrity, and much more. Frank Granito will join us with a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg Sports Update. Donald Lang will take a look back on this day in history, and later on, our editorial director John Kovach joins me to preview the front pages of our newspapers this week. But first, on to today's news. A former PTO treasurer who embezzled thousands of dollars will not serve jail time. Sarah Chiarelli, the former Monroe resident charged with embezzling from the Stepney Elementary School parent-teacher organization banking accounts in May 2015, was sentenced to an 8-year suspended sentence and 5 years of probation on January 13th. Chiarelli's lawyer, Frank Riccio, said she is making restitution and agreed to repay civil damages to the PTO in excess of $45,000. The court also ruled that Chiarelli has to complete 200 hours of community service and that she's prohibited from taking a job where she handles money during that probation. Susan Napolitano, a PTO co-president, said the organization settled its civil action against Chiarelli at the time of her sentencing. She said Chiarelli is to pay $65,000 to the PTO and to date has repaid an estimated $40,000 and a $5,000 credit that she returned at the time of her arrest. And the Associated Press reports that a speeding SUV that went airborne and crashed into a tree in Massachusetts, leaving 3 people dead, was reported stolen in Connecticut days earlier. A Springfield Fire Department spokesman says 1 person died at the scene on Tuesday night. Police say a 2nd person died at the hospital Tuesday and another died Wednesday morning. Names are being withheld until their families can be notified. The victims were described as 2 females and a male between 17 and 20 years old. 2 others who were in the vehicle remain hospitalized in critical condition. Police say the SUV had been reported stolen in Milford on Saturday. Authorities say the vehicle was traveling more than 60 miles per hour when it crashed. The street speed limit there was 30 miles per hour. And in other news, a man being sought for fatally shooting a local man in a Bridgeport home back in December was arrested at a Maplewood Avenue apartment house. Richard Lopez, 25 years old, was taken into custody by Bridgeport police just before 6 in the morning Thursday by members of the U.S. Marshal Violent Crime Fugitive Task Force. He was charged with murder, felony murder, first-degree robbery, as well as carrying a pistol without a permit and criminal possession of a firearm. Lopez is accused of fatally shooting 33-year-old Noel Esprit on December 15th. Esprit was found dead in his Palisade Avenue home at 6:45 at night with a single gunshot wound to his upper body. Police said the motive for the killing was a robbery. And in an update on a Monroe story we brought you last week, students and a parent spoke to the Monroe Board of Education about the need to take action in the wake of an incident at the high school that inspired a petition calling for the removal of a Massac student. That petition, with over 3,000 signatures, calls for the student, who is a minor, to be removed from the Massac community due to his alleged involvement with the social media attack on special needs students and African Americans. It was posted on change.org back on January 10th. The petition includes screenshots of posts allegedly made by a student on an Instagram account, which feature offensive comments related to special needs and race, as well as violent posts related to school shootings on that student's social media. Board of Education Chairman Donna Lane said the school district is investigating the incident and the board's committed to the safety of students. Lane also stated that the law regarding student privacy does not permit the board or the school district to reveal information about students, which limits what the board is allowed to say about that situation. Last week, 2 Massac students had a physical altercation with a 3rd student over content that student had posted on social media. According to Remy Abdallah, the parent of one of the students who was suspended for that altercation, his child and another student attacked the 3rd student because they were offended by the student's posts. There's much more on that story at MonroeCourier.com. And in other news, Darien's Planning and Zoning Commission approved the Board of Education's application for permanent field lights at Darien High School on Tuesday, moving the proposal 1 step closer to fruition. Youth sports advocates in town have been pushing for the lights for over a decade. The last proposal failed to earn the favor of Planning and Zoning in 2008. The Board of Education's current application was developed in cooperation with the high school's neighbors, who worked to negotiate a list of expectations with the help of Selectman Rob Richards. The project calls for the installation of 4 80-foot poles using LED light fixtures to be installed around the main stadium field. With the rapid improvement of LED lighting, the new field lights would reduce some of the spillover seen with the existing temporary field lights while remaining more efficient. The Darien Athletic Foundation has committed to paying the full cost of those field lights with a fundraising goal of $750,000 due by May 1st. You can get a lot more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And WTNH is reporting that police are looking for a missing 18-year-old University of New Haven student. University of New Haven officials say that University Police, along with West Haven Police, are actively searching for missing freshman and softball player Allie McGrory. McGrory is described as a white female who is approximately 5 foot 2 inches tall and weighs about 130 pounds. She also has brown hair and brown eyes. And another scam to look out for, according to Darien Police. A resident there became the victim of a puppy purchasing scam. A Searles Road resident contacted police on January 14th to report that more than $1,600 in fraudulent wire transfers. The complainant told police they had attempted to contact someone from the website DarleyEnglishBulldogs.com, which claimed to have a number of puppies for sale from a breeder. The next day, they received an email from an account info.nextdaydelivery@gmail.com responding to their inquiry. After an exchange of texts and emails, the complainant agreed to wire $650 via Western Union in exchange for an English Bulldog puppy. Several days later, after that transfer, the victim received a phone call from a man with what she described as an Indian accent, claiming that additional money was needed to deliver the pet. The man requested a second wire transfer of $950, telling the victim the majority would be returned once the delivery was completed. However, after finding a contact number for the wire recipients, the victim called and asked about the status of the puppy. Another man claiming to be the breeder asked for another $1,300 to complete the delivery, but the victim declined. Police determined that the wire transfers were picked up in Euless, Texas, but cannot identify the exact location. Let's switch gears now and throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Warmer out today with an expected high of 47 degrees. Partly sunny skies throughout the day as well. Mild conditions for most of the day, with cloud covering increasing later on this evening before temperatures fall into the mid-20s overnight. Friday brings on more sunshine with mostly sunny skies and cooler temperatures in the low 40s. A light breeze between 8 to 10 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon, and cloud cover will move in before some overnight precipitation. Periods of rain and drizzle starting tomorrow evening that continue on Friday night and into early Saturday morning, but those showers should clear out by Saturday morning for another warm day throughout Fairfield County. An expected high of 49 during the day and partly sunny skies in the morning and throughout the early afternoon. But once again, cloud cover starting to build up that evening, and we will see some more rainfall overnight that could carry into early next week. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. Frank Granito has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more news, including that skateboarding bulldog we mentioned earlier, coming up after this.
It's all about meeting goals this year, and Trinity CrossFit of Ridgefield has experienced trainers, top-of-the-line equipment, and a newly renovated space to help get you there. Offering more classes per day than any other CrossFit gyms in the area, we cater to all fitness levels. Our coaches have a combined 10 years of experience in CrossFit, and as competitors themselves, Trinity coaches can get you ready for competition in 2017. Visit our convenient location on Route 7, Danbury Road, or find out more at trinitycrossfit.com. It's all eating.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at stonesThrowCT.com. At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network. And we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this January 19th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network, and it's time to take a look back with Donald Eng.
Well, Kate, we've got a birthday today, but first we're going to go to 1883, Roselle, New Jersey. That is the first Presbyterian church there of Roselle. That picture's not from 1883, but do note the electric light hanging from the ceiling. The first electric lighting system employing wires that was built by Thomas Edison and began service this day in 1883 in Roselle, the church. The first building so equipped, it's still there if you're an electricity geek and you want to take a look at it. It worked out pretty well for Edison, I would say, but anyway, that's another story. To 1953, more than 70% of television sets in the United States tune into I Love Lucy to watch Lucy give birth. The episode was the culmination of an unprecedented pairing of the fictional pregnancy of Lucy Ricardo with the real-life pregnancy of Lucille Ball. I don't think I was supposed to use the word pregnancy there. CBS deemed that word too vulgar for prime time. Lucy was expecting, Lucy was with child, Lucy was not pregnant. 1977, Gerald Ford pardons Eva Togiri Dakino, aka Tokyo Rose. Dakino was an American stranded in Japan when the war broke out and conscripted into reading propaganda broadcasts. Despite never being a Japanese sympathizer, she was convicted of treason in 1949, served 6 years in jail. In 2006, at age 90, Dakino would receive the World War II Veterans Committee's Edward J. Hurley Citizenship Award for her indomitable spirit, love of country, and example of courage she gave her fellow Americans. Finally, now we go to 1983 for this.
At Apple, we understand that business as usual isn't anymore. That's why we make the most advanced personal computers in the world. And why soon there'll be just two kinds of people.
Hi.
Those who use computers
Yeah, I'll be home for breakfast.
and those who use
That was a young Kevin Costner. Happy birthday a day late, by the way. For Apple Lisa, the first personal computer to have a graphical interface and a mouse. It was introduced on this day in '83. Lisa was, to put it mildly, a tremendous flop, mostly because it was not very reliable and because the Macintosh, introduced a year later, was a better computer, faster, more reliable, and 1/5 the price. Lisa, by the way, debuted with a price tag of $10,000 in 1983. That is a look back in history for today, January 19th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, so only Kevin Costner could afford it at the time.
Actually, I don't even know if Kevin Costner
He
could.
wasn't famous
He could
quite
afford
yet.
one now. I don't know if
Yeah.
he could afford one then.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, back to local news. 9 months after the United Illuminating Company suspended its enhanced tree trimming program in Easton, the impasse persists between the company and the town over the cost of traffic control services. UI determined last year that the costs are higher in Easton than it can justify to support its mission of protecting the safety and reliability of the electric infrastructure. After a series of communications with town officials, the power company redeployed its tree trimming crews out of Easton as of April 22nd. Easton officials dispute UI's assessment that traffic control costs there are higher than in other towns. Preliminary discussions last May didn't resolve the matter, but you can get more on that story at eastoncourier.com. Let's throw it back over to Frank Gordito now for Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. The HAN Network was live at the Darien Ice House last night for high school hockey night in the FCIAC, featuring the defending conference champion Greenwich Cardinals and the New Canaan Rams. Both teams entered yesterday's game coming off losses on Monday afternoon to out-of-conference opponents, Greenwich at Northwest Catholic and New Canaan at Xavier. Through 30 minutes of play, the two teams were even at 4 before the Rams tacked on 3 goals in the third on their way to a 7-4 win. Seniors Tyler Hill and Anton Adding each scored twice for the Rams, plus senior George McMahon, junior Brooks Gamble, and sophomore Gunnar Granito chipped in a goal as the Rams improved to 7-2 overall and 2-0 in FCIAC play. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last night's game.
From the Darien Ice House, it is a rivalry night in the FCIAC as the defending FCIAC champion Greenwich Cardinals will test their luck against the number 5 team in the state of Connecticut. That are the New Canaan Rams. Captain's on the ice for the Rams right now as Gamble with the backhander down low and scores. Good look from Tyler Hill. Good forecheck coming, pass out in front, saved momentarily, and they score. Miscommunication between Pickering behind the net. Opportunity here, McMahon across, shot on goal, hit the post, the rebound, score! Gamble had a great look at it the first time, off the post though for 11 seconds. And an opportunity on the breakaway. Hill moving in all alone on Dreher to the forehand and scores! So many times with the 5-on-3 advantage, Sean, you will see teams come away with the breakaway.
Greenwich now has got to rebound this afternoon on a doubleheader as they will host the Trumbull Eagles from the Dorothy Hamill rink. New Canaan with 2 big tests coming up this weekend. They will host number 3 Fairfield Saturday and then the number 1 team in the conference, Ridgefield, on Monday night. The HA Network will be there for that game. Some of the other boys' hockey scores from yesterday. Darien over Norwalk McMahon, 8-1. Cheshire a 5-4 winner over SWS. West Hill Stanford held off 6-4 against New Milford. Trumbull 5-1 over Wilton. Congrats to St. Joe's, a 5-4 winner over Trinity Catholic in overtime. Don't forget, tonight we are live at 7 o'clock with the HAN Network's Game of the Week. Undefeated Fairfield Ward, undefeated Wilton in boys basketball. That game coming to you from Wilton High School. We'll have a full preview of that and more highlights from this game, all coming up on Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, back to news. Following several rounds of severe winter weather in many parts of the country, the American Red Cross urges eligible blood and platelet donors to help restock its shelves to overcome a shortage. Since December 1st, about 300 blood drives across 27 states have been forced to cancel due to winter weather, resulting in more than 10,500 blood and platelet donations going uncollected. Despite the weather, hospital patients still rely on transfusions. To make an appointment to give blood, you can download the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. And finally, in my very favorite story of the week, in Weston, it's not uncommon for drivers to pull up across from Frank Nussbaum's home on Old Hyde Road to watch his bulldog skateboard up and down his driveway. Check this out. Our own Weston Forum reports that at 62 pounds, Bunk is stocky, tough, and similar in build to his namesake, Bunk Moreland from the acclaimed HBO drama The Wire. The dog's low center of gravity makes him the perfect size to push around a skateboard. Nussbaum said that he clearly loves the adrenaline of it. He said, if a skateboard smacks you in the face, it's going to hurt. It smacks Bunk in the face all the time, but he keeps going. Bunk skateboards up and down the driveway 3 times a day, once in the morning, once at lunchtime, and later in the afternoon. Nussbaum said Bunk will often go for about 45 minutes interrupted. You can get more on that story at thewestonforum.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, John Kovach joins me to preview our front pages this week after this.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Want to reach new heights in your fitness and health goals? Find what you're looking for at Elevation Spin, Train, and TRX in Georgetown, Connecticut. Elevation Spin gives you purposeful spinning workouts inspired by the road. We encourage monitoring of heart rate and energy zones. Elevation also offers customized personal training with dedicated professionals passionate about helping you reach your goals. And let us motivate you to reach greater performance and functionality with TRX suspension training, using your own body weight for an incredible dynamic workout. Located at 4 Old Mill Road in Georgetown, call Elevation at 203-544-9503 or visit elevationspintraintrx.com for more.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Start Something New sales event, now through January 31st.
Are you looking for new opportunity this year? How does growing a business with unlimited income potential sound? Christy Kinsman is a local entrepreneur building a global health and wellness business in Fairfield County. Offering cutting-edge anti-aging skincare, all botanically based and paraben-free, and a complete vegan, clean-eating nutritional plan, Christy's looking for business partners that can help get others healthier while taking advantage of an untapped market. Take that first step to freedom from the 9-to-5 grind by learning more about the products and our mentorship program. Contact Christy at thelittlehousheshop@yahoo.com. Are you...
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Thursday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. Kate Czaplinski here now with editorial director John Kovach to preview the front pages of our HAN Network community newspapers this week. John, what are you looking at?
I am looking at the Milford Mirror, where there are some changes coming to the town. West Shore Middle School renovations are approved. The city has voted to pave the way for the new police station. A great shot of one of the performers at the annual ceremony honoring the memory of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and volunteers who stepped in. The Osprey are a big deal around the coastline. Were endangered, and just a nice job by volunteers to repair and replace the platform on which those Osprey nest.
Very cool story. All right, well, I am taking a look at the Darien Times, a story we've talked about this week on Coffee Break, but there was a planning and zoning approval for permanent field lights at Darien High School, so that's a big deal, a long battle, and the next step taken there. We also have a drainage project frustrating neighbors. Connecticut leaders attending the inauguration, including Darien First Selectman Jamie Stevenson. She will be there. And boys lacrosse coach Jeff Brameyer to speak at LAXCon. and a cute photo of some puppies on some thin ice. I hope they were okay.
In Easton, the Board of Finance is confronting some spending cuts, some of those pushed by cuts at the state level. The Easton Planning and Zoning Commission has concluded its fifth and final hearing on the proposed Saddle Ridge development. Some high school students from Joel Barlow have won gold medals in jewelry making at the Scholastic Art Awards. And on January 28th, some of the Freedom Riders from back in the 60s are going to be visiting Easton to share their stories at the Covenant Church that's at 1 Sport Hill Road, right at the Fairfield line.
All right, taking a look at the Ridgefield Press, a big story in Ridgefield this week was that Mountainside, an elite drug rehab facility that wanted to move into a residential neighborhood in Ridgefield, has withdrawn its applications after a lot of backlash from a neighborhood organization. Now, this also comes on the heels of a tragic story in Ridgefield where a young man died of a heroin overdose. Macklin Reed spoke to the family. It's really just a tale of that addiction and of that disease. A great job by Mac there. And organizers sending 4 buses to the Women's March on D.C. So I know there's a lot of talk around that in our local towns as well.
That is true also in Shelton, where a teenager will be attending the inauguration. And Buddington Rock, if you drive on Buddington Road, you'll see this rock changing with the seasons. And Aaron Berkowitz interviewed David Cole. He is the man who paints that rock to keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it seasonal. A tattoo artist is planning a benefit to help fight Lyme disease, and the latest on that horrific story where a man died leaping out of a building while it burned.
All right, taking a look at the Wilton Bulletin. Real estate sales surging in the fourth quarter there, according to a report by Tony Spinelli. Another interesting story by Tony, which is that the birth rate in Wilton has remained flat for quite a while. Not much growth there. Superintendent presenting a 0% school budget increase, which is pretty unusual. And Wilton's new registrar has come a long way. So a new registrar of voters there for the Republicans.
The judge of probate who covers Reading, Ridgefield, and that area is going to host a seminar to explain just what his office does. That is coming up, and that's in the Reading Pilot, as is exploration of possible sites for a dog park, flexible seating, possibly coming to Reading Elementary School, a story that's in some of our papers about a proposal that's not fleshed out really a lot about local health departments and taking a regional approach to them, and a look at some very special Readingites that in the Reading Pilot.
All right, taking a look at the Monroe Courier, a photo of a car fire. January 11th, volunteers responded to a car fire on High Ridge Drive. They extinguished that dump truck fire. No one was injured, thankfully. Now, a story that Tina Marie Craven, the editor of the Courier, has been covering, and that's this petition to remove a student from Massac after some really inappropriate social media postings about special needs people, African Americans. That story is really ongoing. It turns out there was some altercation at Massac last week regarding that student and 2 others who were upset by his posts. Another big story in Monroe this week is that longtime First Selectman Steve Vavrick not seeking re-election there. So there's going to be some new political faces in Monroe, and no jail time for that former PTO treasurer who embezzled thousands of dollars.
In New Canaan, real estate agents are looking at the market and looking at positive signs for 2017. A forum is designed to help families avoid substance abuse. The new post office is opening, and the annual Martin Luther King Day service, all that in the New Canaan Advertiser.
All right, taking a look at the Trumbull Times, State Representative Dave Rotigliano has been named the Republican whip for the current legislative session. Students get ready for college and careers, gathering at Trumbull High School to learn more about career readiness recently. A local man named an everyday hero by the American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. An interesting story, First Selectman Tim Herbst filing an exploratory committee to seek potentially becoming a candidate for governor in 2018.
Stratford, yet another town looking for a place to put a dog park. That dates back to when I was there. That's a decades-long discussion there. Editor Melvin Mason polled local lawmakers on the legalization of marijuana. Stratford, another town that hosted a Martin Luther King Day ceremony, and a story that you brought us here on Coffee Break, a family just elated that the van they needed for a special needs family member that was stolen has been recovered.
That's a great story. All right, well, our last newspaper, the Weston Forum, just a few stories there. Superintendent seeking a 2.79% budget increase, a new police station design getting a thumbs up, and of course that center story, which you can't miss, and that's a skateboarding bulldog named Bunk. Now, what you're missing in the newspaper story is the great video that's at thewestonforum.com, which we ran just a bit earlier. Check this out.
Shred.
Now, Frank Granito, our sports director, says this is not technically skateboarding because not all four paws are on. But as I said, you only are supposed to have two legs on a skateboard, right? That's skateboarding.
Right.
And so Bunk skateboards 3 times a day, according to his owner. He sometimes is at it for 45 minutes.
I actually skateboard just like Bunk does.
Yeah, me
My
too.
balance is that good, but I just do it the way Bunk does it. Our arts and leisure section this week looks at healthier food and some fantastic Lego creations. And Kate, there's also a health and fitness section. And one of the stories is that you're never too old or young to skate. Bunk will be happy to know that.
Yes, all right. Well, John, we have Yankee Fisherman coming up at 1 o'clock today.
I talked to Gary Steinmiller. He is the president of the Connecticut Fly Fishermen's Association. They have their annual expo coming up as well as their annual banquet, and those celebrate their 50th anniversary.
That's exciting. All right, and Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. And then, of course, Wilton and Ward boys basketball. That's at 7. Pre-game starts at 6:30, so don't miss that. It's going to be live on the HAN Network. We're going to wrap things up here in your coffee break. Now, tomorrow, we're going to be at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan getting ready for a new special partnership, but we'll still be bringing you some of the latest local headlines and news updates. So we'll see you then. Have a great day.